Welcome back to the Good News with Nisi. It's me, Nisi, here, excited as always to spread the good news. So today we are going to be continuing with the Gospel of Matthew. We will be working on Matthew chapter 14. I'm reading from the New King James Version of the Bible. If you do not have a Bible with you right now, that's okay. You can feel free to listen along. But I do highly encourage you to read the Bible for yourself in your own private time so that you can spend that time with God in God's presence and spending time in the Word. So, let's go on ahead and get started. Again, I'm reading from the New King James Version of the Bible. We are on chapter 14 of the Gospel of Matthew. Let's get to it. John the Baptist beheaded. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard the report about Jesus and said to his servants, "This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore these powers are at work in him." For Herod had laid hold of John and bound him and put him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, because John had said to him, "It is not lawful for you to have her." And although he wanted to put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was celebrated, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. Therefore he promised with an oath to give her whatever she might ask. So she, having been prompted by her mother, said, "Give me John the Baptist's head here on a platter." And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, because of the oaths and because of those who sat with him, he commanded it to be given to her. So he sent and had John beheaded in prison. And his head was brought on a platter and given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother. Then his disciples came and took away the body and buried it, and went and told Jesus. Feeding the 5,000. When Jesus heard it, he departed from there by boat to a deserted place by himself. But when the multitudes heard it, they followed him on foot from the cities. And when Jesus went out, he saw a great multitude, and he was moved with compassion for them, and healed their sick. When it was evening, his disciples came to him saying, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is already late. Send the multitudes away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves food." But Jesus said to them, "They don't need to go away. You give them something to eat." And they said to him, We have here only 5 loaves and 2 fish." He said, "Bring them here to me." Then he commanded the multitudes to sit down on the grass, and he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and broke and gave the loaves to the disciples, and the disciples gave to the multitudes. So they all ate and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments that remained. Now those who had eaten were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. Jesus walks on the sea. Immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him on the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there, but the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now in the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a ghost." And they cried out for fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Many touch him and are made well. When they had crossed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret. And when the men of that place recognized him, they sent out into all that surrounding region, brought to him all who were sick, and begged him that they might only touch the hem of his garment. And as many as touched it were made perfectly well. Amen. Yes. So, of course, every chapter, every verse that you read in the Bible, you learn a lot. But I find that in the book of Matthew, in the New Testament, you really get to know Jesus and just hear how he is. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So one thing that I want to point out, well, a few things actually, is when I first read, I think it's verse 1 through 12, when John the Baptist was beheaded, I was a little bit confused. So before I make these videos, I always read it first, because it helps me read it to you guys better. So I was a little bit confused about the Herodias thing. I was confused about why John the Baptist told Philip that it wasn't lawful for him to marry her. I was a little bit confused about that, and then also confused about why, exactly why she wanted his head on a platter. That's evil, right? So, I did a little bit of digging online. Now, one thing that I like to always do is if I go online to get more details about something from the Bible, I like to go back myself and read scriptures to verify, because I don't like to go by other people's opinions and stuff like that. Everything that we need to know is actually in the Bible. So I like to go back and reference it. So I found this site called BibleStudyTools.com, and I'll put the link to that page in the descriptions of this video. And according to the article that I saw on that page, which of course I'm going to have the link to that article on in the descriptions of this video. According to them, Herodias was Herod and Philip's niece. So Herod and Philip were brothers on their father's side, and apparently Herodias is their niece. So naturally, Philip being married to her, that is against that's incest. That's if that is in fact the reason why John the Baptist said that he was right, a person cannot marry their niece or nephew. The bloodline is too close, and that is true. I know that in my own private time, I just finished Leviticus, and I know that there are laws and there are statutes in there that explain about that, about not uncovering or being with individuals so close to your bloodline, so close in family. So John the Baptist was, of course, right about that. Now, when I say that I finished Leviticus, I might read Leviticus and all the stories in the Bible and all the chapters in the Bible and every word in the Bible hundreds of times in my life. But because I'm on a mission right now to study and read it through from beginning to end, I'm on Numbers now, and I just finished Leviticus. So I thought about that when I saw this on BibleTools.com, because God made it a point to let us know that we are not supposed to, I guess, be intimate with or uncover or be with someone in our family that's that close in our bloodline. So the fact that Philip might have been married to his niece, according to what I saw on this website, it's kind of wild to me. So on the site itself, I didn't see where they give like a link for scriptures to support that claim. So again, I'm not 100% sure if that is fact. I have to do some of my own digging to find that out. If you guys, if any of you watching have any information on that, put it in the comment section, because I think that would be really interesting, even for me, to go and look back at myself in the Bible. If you can put whatever book or chapter or verse that you received that information from, that would be most helpful. So yeah, I want to point that out. That was very interesting. And then I guess that would explain why Herodias wanted his head on the platter, because if she was taking part in activities like that, then, I guess whatever resentment that she had for the truth made her want something so monstrous as to have John the Baptist, someone that was doing work, someone that would listen to God and was spreading the good word. She wanted that person killed. So, that would explain that. The story of the feeding of the 5,000, that story always gets me. And then also, Jesus walks on the sea. So now that we're 14 chapters into Matthew, one constant theme that Jesus gives us is to have faith. That's why it's so important to read, because especially in the world that we live in right now, it's so easy for people to lose faith. And when I say lose faith, I don't mean belief. I mean to lose faith, be scared, have anxiety, stuff like that. And one common theme that Jesus gives us is, no matter what, have faith. Because Jesus is not going to forsake us. God is not going to forsake us. So I think that's very powerful, and that constantly reminds you that no matter what, you need to have faith. And then the part about people touching him, being made well, I think that is amazing. I know, especially in the world that we live in right now, like that is I don't know, that's really amazing. So that's my commentary on this chapter. I have to give a little commentary on all the chapters, because they're all simply amazing. So I haven't done the Bible trivia in a little bit, because I figured I would get through Matthew and then do a couple Bible trivia videos at the end to kind of make you guys and myself go back through Matthew again to find these things. So I'm probably not going to do Bible trivia until we finish Matthew, and then once we get to the next book, which I believe is Mark, then I'll probably do it that way too. Just read it through, and do Bible trivia at the end. So if you notice in this video, I have like some imagery that I'm using. I am going to put a link for the websites that I received these pictures from. I got very excited because I found all of these pictures, most of these pictures, on Pinterest. So I'm going to put a link in the descriptions page for the websites they come from that I got from Pinterest, and from the people's pages on Pinterest that I got these pictures from. I thought they were all really cool. I thought the images themselves were more realistic as to what I believe people look like back then. I don't always like to use a depiction of Jesus, because in the Bible, at least from what I've read, we don't get many images of what Jesus looked like when he was here in the flesh. The only one that I can think of is in Revelations, and I don't remember offhand what chapter that was in or any of that, but with the brass skin and the white hair. So if there's an image that looks any different from that, I don't want it. Why? Because Jesus is the holiest of holies, and I don't want to represent him wrong in any way. I don't want to represent anyone from the Bible wrong in any way, but you don't find many art that depict how Jesus was depicted in the Bible. So I don't always like to do that, but yeah, take a look at those. Take a look at the descriptions page for my sources. And until next time, you guys, peace and God bless you all in Jesus' name.